Hello, and welcome to Fun with Qshell, Episode 3. We're going to take a look at another script that'll check job descriptions for libraries that don't exist. This one's a little bit more powerful, that will run a lot longer though. You don't need to supply a library name to check for. It will check every single job descriptions for libraries and then check the system to see if those libraries exist. So before we run it, I'm just going to walk you through some of the code. We're going to utilize several output files here to store some temporary lists, and I'll point those out as we go along. Same as last time, we're going to collect all the job descriptions by doing the display object D to an out file. I'm going to again use templib as my temporary library for this. Change that if you want to. So let's just jump right in with this first statement here so you can see what we get. I've already run this, so the file will be out there. I'm just going to change the variables to be templib. Okay, so here we go. Same thing as last time. We want to get rid of this header and the bottom information. So to get rid of the header, we're going to do the tail -n plus 4, which will return the results starting at line 4, which should be qbrm sync-lib. So if I go back up to the top, that's where we start. Now to get rid of the bottom, looks like we're going to do seed 3 times, -d. If anybody knows of a way to do multiple lines, like the tail, let me know and I'll include that, but for now this will work. Templib test job. Okay, so we have the data in the format we want it for this first loop. And we're going to read that, the results, library and object name, and we're going to do a display job D for each one of those. And we're going to walk through this part of it as well. The next couple things we're going to skip because that was pretty much identical to what we're doing now and was in the last video. So let's look at the results of display job D as it appears through Qshell. So we're going to look at the one in templib, and it's called test job D. So we get the full thing back. If you did this from the green screen, you would see the same thing. You might have to hit enter once to get the libraries up, but you would see the same thing. I added a bunch of libraries here so you could see 3 different columns that they show up in. That'll come into play in a little bit here. Not all of them will have that. Some will just have a couple in the first column. Okay, so we want to remove all the stuff up above this initial library list. There's a couple ways you can do that. In this example, however, I'm going to use a seed -n -e and then a string of text that it's going to search for and delete everything above that. So let's see how that looks. Okay, so now we've eliminated all the junk above this. We just need to clean it up a little bit and we'll have our data. So same thing above, we're going to do a tail, start at line 4, remove the bottom line, so I'll just include those in one example here. Okay, this is really close. So this next thing here, we're going to pipe it to a command called awk. And what that's going to basically do is sort these into columns and remove what we don't want. So this will be column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we need 2, 4, and 6 is what we want. So you can see the command here. We're going to pipe it to awk and print $2, $4, and $6. And it's going to put a space in between those for us. Otherwise it'd be all jammed together. Okay, this is really close. Now what we want to do is just have one column returned with an end of line at the end of each one of them. So we can treat each individual line as its own variable. To do that, I'm going to pipe it to tr. It's going to check for a blank space and remove it, and add a end of line character. And we should end up with just one column with our data in it. There it is. Real good. Now we're ready to pipe that to a file to use. So file 1 is going to be every single library on any job description. As you can imagine, there's going to be some duplicate entries there. So what we're going to do to get rid of the duplicates is we're going to run a sort on file 1, or list 1, put it in alphabetical order, then we're going to pipe it to a command called unique, and that will remove anything that's a duplicate in there. And the rest of this is all kind of what we went over last time. It'll do a display object D, and actually this piece is new. This will actually check the system to see if that library exists. If it finds it, it's just going to echo it. If it doesn't find the library object type, it will pipe that, or write it to a list number 3, and that'll be a list of libraries not found on the system. And that list will be used similar to the previous script where we manually typed in the library name. It's just it's going to read that file for us instead of us having to type the library name in. So let's go ahead and run this and see what we get. Okay. I'm going to let that run for a second, pause the video, and I will be right back. Alright, the script has completed. I would recommend you submit this one to batch in a multi-threaded job queue, as on a production system this will run for quite a while. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results. Here we go. Another handy utility I found on the internet is this IL editor. You can browse your IFS and edit your script files right through here, which is pretty handy. You don't have to worry about that line wrap and windowing over and stuff like that. And you can also double click, and there we go. So now you could go and clean up your job descriptions or delete them or whatever you want to do. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.